3 Master Fairs, 1 new Poke Fair, and several Poke Fair reruns. Are any of these units worth scouting for? Or should you probably skip and save? Well, in this video, we are going to discuss which among these June Sync pairs you should prioritize. So with that said, hit the thumbs up, comment your thoughts, and subscribe if you haven't. Become a member if you wish to support my channel even better. And let's do this! Here we go! Yo yo yo! This is Sol, also known as SPL Gamma, also known as Spatial Gamma, also known as Grunt. You're this Team Skull Grunt, and this is Pokemon Masters EX. Guys, before anything else, thank you for all the love and support in my last gem count video. I would like to give an extra shout out to Marokman and Ewiz for the generous super thanks that I've been very curious about for the last several weeks. Thank you very much for your generosity. If you're watching this as a replay or after the premiere, if you want to help out and have a highlighted comment, you can click on the thanks button down below and have a special comment. It's an extra support for me, and I gladly will appreciate that. But anyway, guys, previously, I have been getting feedback from you guys, and most of you said that my analysis videos are a little bit too long, so I'm gonna try my best and shorten this for you guys. And let me know if you prefer this shorter version or do you prefer the longer versions that I often do. So, with that said, we have 4 new units that are coming up. First one is SYGNA Ethan, second is SYGNA Lyra, third is SYGNA KRIS. As you might know, they're 2 days apart. They end on July 13, so you have roughly more than 1 month in order to scout for them. And meanwhile, Bede lasts from June 16 to July 3. So, half month roughly to scout for Bede. All of them are limited units, so, you know, once they're gone until they come back. And here's the thing. Ethan, Lyra, and KRIS are Master Fairs. And so far, we have been waiting. There has not been any single Master Fair that has rerun. So, you can probably safely say that if you do not scout for them, they will be gone for good. Or maybe a couple of years or something like that. Meanwhile, Bede, Poke Fair reruns normally come somewhere between 3 to 12 months. So you can expect Bede to come out rather not too far. I mean, Lucas just came in January and now he's back. So if you're curious, Lucas, yes, Lucas is coming back together with Red as well as Gloria. They're coming back on June 20. So we're gonna quickly discuss them as well. But let us quickly discuss about each one of them right now. Thank you, by the way, to Absol-utely as well as the other data miners for the info. And, you know, give them some love. Give this video some love. Let us move on. Alright, SYGNA Ethan and Lugia is a striker. So he is, if you see this background image, congratulations. Successfully scouted for the Guardian of the Seas, known in Johto for the longest time. So people have been asking for Ethan and Lugia. He's here. Now he has Aeroblast and he has Whirlpool. Now both of these attacks become AoE attacks because of his passive skill, Extend Range. This is, by the way, the same passive skill as Anniversary N. So every single time you attack an opponent, you will be able to hit everyone. So you probably want to start off with Whirlpool. Whirlpool, a little bit weaker move. It's a water type move. Hits everyone, traps all opponents. And then after that, you want to focus on Aeroblast. And it's a very strong flying type attack. And it helps critical hits land more easily. So as long as you're able to raise your critical hit rate, you should be able to kind of expect that all your attacks are going to be critical hits. Plus, he has a very interesting trainer move called This Is It. So this is basically every single time you use it, you have a 50% chance of reducing your sync move countdown. Very nice. Aside from that, it raises your accuracy by 1. So Aeroblast and Whirlpool has not perfect accuracy, so using this basically almost assures you that you will never miss. And then it gives you a critical hit next effect. So every single time you use Aeroblast and Whirlpool, it's gonna be a critical hit after you use This Is It. And then it also raises your special moves up next effect by 3 ranks. And what this does, every single rank or every single stack of special moves up next, you'll get a 40% increase in damage. So, even though Whirlpool is a pretty weak attack, with the special moves up next, you'll be able to land a very strong Whirlpool and a very strong Aeroblast. A 4 move gauge attack with 3 stacks of special moves up next is going to be very, very, very strong. Plus, you have assured critical hit next, and you have a 50% chance of raising your or lowering your sync move countdown. The other one, X special attack, just raises your special attack by 2 stat ranks. And as a master passive or as a master sync pair, you have a master passive called Johto Spirit. And for those who are curious, this stacks with other master passive skills. So this can stack with other master passives like, for example, Leon. It can stack with other flag bearers. It can stack with probably Hoenn Spirit if you are using Archie. It can stack with any other. But spirits are for special attack moves. Pride is for physical attack, and Flag Bearer is for both. So, Signature Ethan is a pure special attacker, and it can, you know, just read that to shorten the time. Extend range, we have discussed this earlier, and then there's MP Regain 9, which is awesome. Every single time you attack an opponent, that is basically every single time you use Aeroblast or Whirlpool, you bring 1 MP back for X special attack, and This Is It. So I think it applies to both. So you get 1 MP back, so you can basically maximize your special attack stat. You can basically maximize your accuracy. You can basically bring back the special moves up next effect. You can bring back the 50% chance of sync move countdown. The way you want to do this is probably, well, it's either you or a support sync pair to raise your special attack by using X special attack, and then use This Is It, then use an attack, then use This Is It, then use an attack, This Is It, use an attack, This Is It, use an attack. That's basically how you do it. So every single time you attack an opponent, an MP comes back. And you want to do this because, you know, special moves up next, that's a 120% increase in damage. Very, very strong. As well as, I mean, who doesn't want sync move countdown -1, right? 50% chance, that's very good. And then also, if you want to use a sync move, you know, you want to use This Is It first, so that you will have a surefire critical move. Critical sync move. And you know, he's a striker, he hits everyone. As you might know, if you use a sync move, if your critical hit rate is maxed, +3, you have only an 80% chance of landing a critical hit. So by using This Is It, you're guaranteeing that your next attack is going to be a critical hit. This is kind of similar to Signature Giovanni at the same time. Signature Giovanni, his trainer move does not return unless you get an MP refresh. Critical crit 9 might be better because it automatically assures you that your next attack is going to be a critical. But then, you have a nice move gauge management because after using a 4 move gauge attack, you use a trainer move which does not use any move gauge. Plus, you have a 50% chance of lowering your sync move countdown. So I believe that is amazing. And then his last passive skill is a multiplier for your sync move. Brain power, the higher your special attack stat is, the stronger your sync move is gonna be. Again, you can maximize your special attack stat because you will get an MP refresh or MP regain with X special attack if you decide to just use SYGNA Suit Ethan to raise his own special attack, or use any other support to raise his special attack stat. So, nice striker with a built-in multiplier for the sync move. And for this one, he cannot raise his own critical hit rate, but then this is it, allows you to land critical hits. So probably give him critical strike too. I think that's the best one. He has a weather multiplier or a rain multiplier. So if you want, you can probably give him Weathered Warrior 3, but then after the rain or any weather condition goes away, well, you lose the multipliers. And then it's your choice as well if you want to give Super Power 3, which would power up his Aeroblast if the opponent is weak to flying, or his Whirlpool if the opponent is weak to water. And so with his Sync Grid, I'm just gonna discuss the multipliers out here. You can check the others, but he has 4 Sync Nuke tiles, which will power him up, or which will power his Sync move up even more. He has Foul Fighting 2 if the opponent is trapped, flinching, or confused, which Ethan can easily trap the opponent using Whirlpool Extend Range. Your attacks are gonna be 20% more powerful. And then moving on to 3 out of 5, Sync Thinker 9, after you use his Sync move, he will get a Special Moves Up Next effect, which will power up his Aeroblast or Whirlpool by 40% the next time you use it. And then this is it, Brawn Game 2. Every single time you use this is it, you have a 30% chance of increasing your special moves up next effect. So by using this is it, you're already raising your special moves up next effect by 3 stat ranks or by 3 stacks. And with Brawn Game 2, you have an additional 30% chance of raising another stack. So that's 40%. Or 4 stack, that gives you a 160 times stronger, or 1.6 multiplier, 160 times, 160% rather, 160% stronger in terms of using your next move, which is going to be Aeroblast or Whirlpool. So SYGNA Suit Ethan and Lugia, very strong. He's going to be the first one that comes out. He's a flying type. And his stats, as you can see over here, has a very high HP stat. Average defenses, pretty high speed, not too bad. High special attack stat, not bad at all for a flying type, which is good. Very nice, and best of all, hits every single opponent. So AoE attacker, I mean, we don't exactly have a lot of AoE flying types. We have Anniversary Skyla though, but her attack is not that strong. I think it's Air Cutter. And then most of the stronger strikers out there that we have for flying types only target single opponents. Ethan or SYGNA Suit Ethan hits everyone because of his extend range passive skill. Plus, he has a built-in master passive skill. And that makes him very nice, very powerful. Recommended. Next! Here is SYGNA Suit Lyra and Celebi, and in my opinion, this is so busted. This is so crazy. She's so... should I say overpowered? In a way, she's very overpowered because this thing has a crazy passive skill. I want to just discuss the passive skill. That's the craziest thing about her. Hassling hit 9. Every single time you attack an opponent and your attack is successful, you confuse the opponent, you trap the opponent, and you make the opponent flinch. That's crazy. I mean, you know, we have a lot of sync pairs that have a high chance of flinching the opponent. We have Astonish, like 60% flinch. We have, I think it's Kukui, a very high chance, 50 or 60% chance of flinching. We have Plumeria, 40% chance Smog flinching. We have other sync pairs. AOE, I mean Anniversary Skyla has a very high chance of flinching the opponent, but not 100%. This one, once you attack an opponent, 100% flinch. This is a game changer and a crazy thing, but one thing to take note of is that, you know, flinching does not exactly work all the time if the opponent has an ability called Resilience or Unflappable. So, you know, in Champion Stadium, or rather, in Extreme Battle events, normally the opponent, after getting hit by poison, something, and flinch, after recovering, they will get the Resilience status, and they cannot be flinched or dealt with any conditions for a while. So that's an exception. Plus, you know, in Legendary Arena, the opponents sometimes get unflappable, so those are the exceptions. But in Champion Stadium, normally opponents do not get any of those. So you can continually flinch the opponent, you know, do your target, know when to attack who, and you will be able to kind of destroy the opponents without them being able to do anything to you, which is crazy. Plus, you know, when the opponent flinches, you can, if you're trying a sleep chain, you can actually do a sleep chain together with a flinch chain using SYGNA Suit Lyra. After flinching the opponent, make them fall asleep or probably freeze the opponent. That's crazy busted. And then we got Ruthless 9, which lowers the opponent's lowers 2 stat ranks of the opponents at random against a flinching, confused, or trapped opponent. Now again, just by attacking an opponent, successfully attacking an opponent, you're not only flinching them, but also trapping and confusing them. You're leaving 3 different things. And remember, when they attack, when they're trapped, they receive damage. When they're confused, they hit themselves, stuff like that. So amazing! And by attacking them even more, you're lowering 2 stats, or rather 1 stack, 2 stat ranks at random, either attack, defense, special attack, special defense, speed, accuracy, or evasiveness. Turbo Turf 2 charges your move gauge quicker when the field is grassy terrain, and Johto Pride basically powers up your physical attacks. Again, this stacks with other master passives. Meanwhile, she's also the first unit, the very first unit to bring in grassy terrain. And what grassy terrain does is that not only does it power up grass type attacks, but every single time you use a grass type attack, you recover HP. Every single time any type of grass type attack, as long as there's grassy terrain, you recover a bit of HP. Awesome. She also has Dire Hit All Plus, so if you pair her up with Ethan or any other sync pair that cannot raise their own critical hit rate, you know, pseudo support, awesome. Awesome. In fact, I think you can pair her up with anyone. You don't, you know, if you're good with Flinch Chain, you don't even need a support. Your support is her. Dire Hit All Plus. Increase everyone's critical hit rate. Voice of the Forest is also an interesting one. This is similar to I think it's called How Sweet. This is Palatine Dawn's trainer move. Just change the name. So it basically raises someone, your allies' attack and special attack +2, as well as gives it gradual healing. So you can use it on her. You can use it on anyone else. You have 2 MP for this one, so it's completely your choice. So pseudo support, again, pretty similar to Palatine's Dawn, but at the same time, you have Dire Hit All Plus, which is amazing. Plus, you are able to non-stop flinch the opponent. One more thing, Grassy Glide is a 3 move gauge attack, but if there's grassy terrain, it does not consume the move gauge. And if there's grassy terrain, again, Turbo Turf 2 speeds up the move gauge. For her, I would recommend Critical Strike 2 because you're raising your critical hit rate. Or Super Powered 3, you know, if the opponent is weak to grass type attacks, you're powering up your normal attacks or sync moves by an additional 10% over Critical Strike 2. But then, I believe that Critical Strike 2 is much better overall in terms of everything. So, with her sync grid over here, Dire Hit All MP Refresh, pretty not too important. Let's just discuss some important stuff. Verdant Recovery recovers her HP when you take action, when you use a grassy terrain or when you use grassy glide, when the field is grassy terrain. This is an extra recovery plus the recovery of grassy terrain when you use a grass type move. So extra recovery. Verdant immunity status conditions cannot be inflicted on you when there's grassy terrain, and then there's Voice of the Forest MP Refresh 2. And then at 3 out of 5, you get some multipliers. Confusion Synergy 3 powers up your attacks if the opponent is confused. And how do you confuse the opponent? Attack them. Power Play is one of the good passive skill, or rather, one of the good multipliers. The lower the opponent's stats are, the stronger your sync move is gonna be. I'm not gonna be very keen on the numbers right now, but there is a limit to how many stats, how low the stats can be. There's a maximum multiplier to Power Play, but it's one of the best multipliers out there for the sync move. Stationary target 3 if the opponent is trapped, makes your attack stronger. And then Voice of the Forest, Mighty Friend 9. When you use Voice of the Forest on an ally, it raises your physical moves up next effect by 1 stat. And what this does, again, increases your physical attacks by 40%. So, if you use this on Ethan, unfortunately Ethan relies on special attacks. So there's not gonna be very helpful in terms of physical moves up next effect. You want the special moves up next effect on Ethan. So that's that, guys. That's that. And one more thing to take note of is that although Grassy Glide is a physical attack, her sync move is a special attack. So take note of what stat you're raising. Voice of the Forest raises both attacking offensive stats. So again, Grassy Glide is physical. Her sync move is special. So that's something you want to take note of. Plus, her sync move is increasing damage if the field is grassy terrain. Again, grassy terrain already powers up grass type attacks. Plus, this built-in multiplier. Plus, if you have her 3 out of 5, you get Power Play, one of the best multipliers out there. Alright, let's move on. SYGNA Suit KRIS and Suicune. She's the very first Master Fair support that we have. And I was ranting to you guys in the Datamine when I was discussing it. That, the game has given us so many good supports. And as a Master Fair support, I was expecting a little bit more. But now, today, I want to just share my thoughts a little bit more and see if she's really underwhelming. No, she's not. She's actually a very good sync pair. Thing is, I just have really high expectations of Master Fairs. She is a Master Fair, that means she already gets a Master Passive, Johto Flag Bearer, which basically powers up every single ally attack and special attack by 10%, blah blah, you can read that for yourself. And so far, we have Master supports, but they're mostly kind of like, BP supports, Master thing. But, this is... Let's just discuss her kit, guys. Anyway, she has Brine, which powers up, doubles the damage if the opponent's HP is half or below. She's one of the supports that can bring in weather conditions, so we have several of those. We have Ingo, which can bring in Sandstorm. We have SYGNA Suit Morty, which can bring in Sunny Day. This one can bring in Rain Dance, which is good. She has Mini Potion All, which can recover everyone's HP by 20%, plus a couple of Master Healer and MP Refresh tiles on her sync grid, which I'm not gonna discuss even more later, but she can recover around, I think, 40% maximum for everyone, which is awesome. And then Spring of Knowledge raises everyone's special attack +2, raises everyone's critical hit rate +1, and then gives everyone a special moves up next effect when it is raining. Now, how you want to use her is that you want to either use Rain Dance or Spring of Knowledge first, but I would highly suggest everyone to use at least 1 MP of each before you use her sync move, because she has a passive skill called Sync Burst 1, which recovers 1 MP for everything of her moves that require MP after using her first sync move. So use Mini Potion All, use Spring of Knowledge, use Rain Dance, and then you bring 1 MP back after using her sync move. And then you got also Team Mind Bracing Infliction if you use Rain Dance for the first time. So I think that's the best thing you can do. First move is Rain Dance. Rain Dance will raise everyone's special at defense by 4. So at the start of the battle, raise everyone's special defense +4. And then you can use Spring of Knowledge, raise everyone's special attack +2, raise everyone's critical hit rate +1, raise everyone's special moves up next by 1 when it's raining. And then after that, you can use your sync move, use a support sync pair first for the sync move, and then you bring back 1 MP for each one, use Spring of Knowledge again, raise everyone's special attack to +4, raise everyone's critical hit rate to +2, and then, use another one, maximize everyone's special attack, maximize everyone's critical hit rate, and then again, you also bring back the Mini Potion All as well as the Rain Dance. But Sync Burst 1 only occurs once, the first time you use a sync move. And Team Mind Bracing Infliction only occurs once as well. So you can only maximize, or you can only raise everyone's special defense to +4 using SYGNA Suit KRIS. And then First Aid 4 just recovers HP. I did not see any Vigilance tiles on her grid, so I would highly recommend you to give her Vigilance as a lucky skill. Now at 1 out of 5, nothing very significant. At 2 out of 5, you get Lockstep 9 on Mini Potion All. And what this does is that it fills up your move gauge when you use Mini Potion All. So, nice for move gauge management. You got Racing Rain and Refreshing Rain, which speeds up your move gauge and then recovers your HP whenever you attack when it's raining. And then Spring of Knowledge MP Refresh 2, well, not really that helpful because you can already maximize everyone's critical hit rate and special attack after you use a sync move. Staggering 2 is probably my favorite for her. So it gives you a 30% chance of making the opponent flinch every single time you use Brine. So this allows her to be able to make the opponent flinch. And then Team Swift Reaction 4. Every single time you get hit, you have a 50% chance of raising everyone's speed stat, which I guess is good. She's not, well, her defenses aren't too bad. Special defense pretty high. Defense not too bad, but lower than SYGNA Suit Morty, so I'm not really sure about making her, or focusing tanking on her, although she has pretty high HP. But if you want to maximize Team Swift Reaction 4, you have to make her your tanker. And then 3 out of 5, you got Brine Team Stoic 4. Every single time you use Brine, you have a 50% chance of raising everyone's defenses by 1. This is good because without this, or with this, you can maximize everyone's defense stat and then raise everyone's special defense to +4. So, nice! You can also raise your defense stat. Mini Potion All, as we have discussed. Rain Dance Catalyzing Infliction just speeds up your move gauge. MP Refresh 2 on Rain Dance is at 3 out of 5. Again, you can bring back one Rain Dance by using your first sync move, and then the remaining Rain Dances you have to get MP refresh too. And then Team Limited Special Boost. If you use Rain Dance, when the user uses a move with limited number of uses. Never mind, I'm not sure how this is worded because the game has changed the wording of everything. Not sure if this applies to everything that has MP, but you have a 30% chance of giving everyone a special moves up next effect when you use a move that uses MP. And then Team Sync Think 9 is basically the same thing, only happens once after you use a sync move, gives everyone a special moves up next effect. So pretty good sync pair. I guess I was just expecting a little bit more, I wanted, cosplay Lily. Example, every single time you get hit, you recover everyone's HP. SYGNA Morty, every single time you attack, you move. When it's sunny, everyone recovers HP. I guess I was really just expecting more. But overall, a support sync pair that can bring in Rain Dance. I mean, now it's just Archie, Winona, May bringing in Rain Dance. Now we have a first support that can bring in Rain Dance. Plus, you have a master passive skill, which is amazing. So that's it for SYGNA KRIS. I'm not gonna linger anymore. We have the last one of the bunch, which is Bean and Hatterene, June 6 to July 3. He is a multi-type sync pair with 3 different type of attacks, but mainly as a fairy type. You have Dazzling Gleam, which hits everyone 2 move gauge. You have Mystical Fire, which lowers the opponent's special attack by 1, only hits 1. And Psybeam, 10% chance of leaving the opponent confused. You have Back to You, which what this does is gives you a status condition reflection. So if the opponent tries to use Toxic or use Will-O-Wisp or anything, it will reflect back to the opponent. It will raise your special attack and critical hit rate +2, and it will raise or lower your defense -1. I guess it's not bad. You can maximize your critical hit rate by using 2 Back to Use, but then your defense will be lowered by a little bit. Now, Most Elite Fairy Beam, his sync move, increases in damage when the opponent is confused. So you want to confuse the opponent first. And how do you confuse the opponent? By using Psybeam, or he is a Dynamax sync pair. So he has some Dynamax moves, and G-Max Spite hits 1 but leaves every single opponent confused. Now, if the opponent does not want to get confused, you're frustrated, use G-Max Spite, confuse the opponent. Max Flare can make the weather sunny. Max Mindstorm can set the field to psychic terrain, but there's no fairy zone or anything like that. So you're bringing in either confusing the opponent, or setting the sun, or setting psychic terrain, but that's that. Your choice. And then he has very, very interesting passive skills, which I think are very good. You got Baffle buff 9. If the opponent is confused, your attacks are powered up. And your sync move is also powered up. Nice! Stupefication 9. When the opponent is... Rather, I don't think so. You don't have to confuse an opponent. Attack the opponent. Just attack the opponent. It will lower their attack or special attack and special defense -1. Whatever move you use, either Dazzling Gleam, Mystical Fire, Psybeam, G-Max moves, or sync moves. Any move you use against an opponent, you lower their special attack and special defense -1. The best thing, Dazzling Gleam hits everyone. So every single time you use Dazzling Gleam, the opponent gets weaker, your Dazzling Gleam becomes more powerful because you're lowering the opponent's special defense, and Dazzling Gleam is a special attack. Nice! Maximum Superpowered 5 is also crazy. It powers up your attacks, your sync moves and your max moves if the opponent is weak to that type. So if the opponent is weak to Fairy, Dazzling Gleam, or G-Max Spite, or your sync move becomes more powerful. If the opponent's weak to Fire, Mystical Fire, Max Flare. If the opponent is weak to Psychic, Psybeam, Max Mindstorm becomes more powerful. Very nice. A lot of built-in multipliers. Plus Stupefication 9 just lowers their special attack and special defense every single time you land an attack against an opponent. And again, since you were able to maximize your critical hit rate, probably give Critical Strike 2 or your choice. Since you have 3 different types of attacks, you can give Super Powered 3. Now for his Sync Grid, I do not want to discuss way too much. You have Super Duper Effective 2. If the opponent's weak to any type of you have, it becomes 20% more powerful. Confusion Synergy 9. If the opponent's confused, your attacks get 90% stronger. Fuzzy Strike 5. If the opponent is confused, additional 50% sync nuke damage. And one more thing. Let's go back to 2 out of 5. You get Gobsmack 4. This is basically Anniversary Skyla's kit, which basically gives you a 50% chance of confusing the opponent when you use an attack against them. This is way so perfect for Dazzling Gleam because you're hitting everyone. And now that you're hitting everyone, you have a 50% chance of leaving them confused. Once they're confused, Confusion Synergy 9 will trigger, Baffle Buff 9 will trigger, very, very strong damage. Well, Dazzling Gleam is not exactly very strong, but now you're able to use just 2 move gauges, 2, to hit everyone with a very, well, multiplied, power multiplied attack. So this is not like, you know, you're using Diantha. Diantha's pretty slow move gauge. Moonblast, 4 move gauge. This one just 2 move gauges. You're hitting everyone. You're fast. This is not, I think Diantha also has an AoE attack, but he's much faster than Diantha. So that's that. You also got Hard Nox 9, which lowers 1 random stat when you use a move, a sync move, or a max move against an opponent. So this just adds up to Stupefication 9. This is crazy. Stupefier 4 as well. A 50% chance of lowering the opponent's special defense when you use any attack against the opponent. So he is a built-in, or he is a full-on debuffer unit, and I love him for that. Lots of built-in multipliers, but yeah, amazing sync pair. And now, quickly, let us discuss the 3 other sync pairs that are coming or that are rerunning. We have Red, we have Lucas, and we have Gloria. Again, this banner comes out on June 20. So this is a combined banner. This is, I think, called the main character Pokefair Scout. There's another one, I think it's called the 5-star guaranteed main character Scout or something like that. Your choice which one to go for. But a lot of people are asking about Lucas. And Lucas is actually very powerful. Every single time you use a move that requires MP. So either It's Our Time, X-Speed Plus, or Dragon Wish, you're able to use your next move for free. You get a free move next. And this basically allows Lucas to attack very, very quickly because It's Our, Roar of Time is a 4 move gauge attack. Use Roar of Time, or you use It's Our Time, or X-Speed, or Dragon Wish, your Roar of Time is gonna be free, then use another one, Roar of Time again, use another one, Roar of Time, use another one, Roar of Time. And plus, he has Dragon Zone, which will basically power up your Dragon type sync pairs, which makes him pretty powerful. As for Gloria, very strong, especially when the opponent has used a sync move at least once. She cannot raise her own critical hit rate, but Laser Sharp Focus basically assures you that your next attack is gonna be a critical hit. You can only use this once, and after using her Sync move, you got Sync Burst, which brings back the Laser Sharp Focus. But then, in terms of overall thing, very powerful Sync pair, but I think that you have to bring in a critical support for her in order to make her shine. Like Hop, for example. Hop will definitely make her more powerful. Red, on the other hand, you and me just gives everyone, or just gives any Sync pair you have, a super effective up next effect, which will power up their attack or Sync move much stronger. I think it's 50% stronger. So basically, Red is an enabler. Bring him along and make your other Sync pairs more powerful against your opponents. So in terms of the three, I think the best one is either Lucas or Red. Lucas just very fast. Red, well, also very good. But I'm not sure. Recently, I've not been using Red that much anymore. I use him from time to time, but I think Lucas is better than Red. I think Lucas is better than Red slightly, but they might switch places at any time. As for Gloria though, Gloria is a little bit lower than both of them. They're much better. But if you love Gloria, then go scout for Gloria. But again, right now we have 4 units. Plus, you know, we're gonna have more units coming up after last week of June, rather. We will have the summer units. Summer units come out, they said, the dev letter said, end of June to early July. So I'm expecting they're 2 days apart. Plus, you know, whatchamacallit, Hue. By the way, thank you for correcting me. Hue is the rival of Black and White 2. Because I said X and Y, so thank you for correcting me. There's a possibility that Hue is gonna come out as well. So make sure, you know, you save up if you love those Sync pairs. But for these, Master Fairs never have rerun. Poke Fairs rerun between 3 to 12 months. But let's just quickly go to their stats. If you are curious about the in-depth stats and everything like that, I am going to do a scout or skip video for each one of them as the days pass. So stay tuned for that. So here we go. And why is there nothing in this slide? Sus. Anyway, this is the slide. These are their stats. SYGNA Ethan, SYGNA Lyra, SYGNA KRIS, and Bede. SYGNA Ethan and Lyra have the same high speed stat, 336. SYGNA Lyra is the only one that uses the physical attack stat. Again, SYGNA Lyra's Sync move is a special attack, but her normal Grassy Glide is a physical attack, so she uses both stats. Ethan has the highest HP out of the bunch, followed by KRIS, and then Bede has the lowest HP. In terms of defenses, as you might know, support Sync pair has the highest defense and special defense. No questions about that. And then the lowest special attack is also belongs to KRIS. And Bede has the lowest speed out of the bunch. But stats are not everything. So let's move on to the multipliers, which you can see over there. KRIS, fortunately, has some multipliers, because normally supports do not have multipliers. And she can give us special moves up next effect by using her trainer move when it is raining. I think it gives everyone a special moves up next effect. And you can bring back the special moves up next effect if you have her 3 out of 5. I think if you use a move that requires MP, is that it? You have a little % chance of bringing special moves up next effect to everyone. And then the other one is basically, after you use a Sync move, everyone will get 1 stack of special moves up next effect. SYGNA Ethan, on the other hand, Foul Fighting 2 if the opponent is trapped, confused, flinching, stronger damage, Johto Spirit, Master Passive. You get a special moves up next 3 stacks by using his trainer move. And again, what you want to do is use his trainer move, attack the opponent, use trainer move, attack the opponent, use trainer move, attack the opponent, because you get the MP back for all his, moves when you use an attack on the opponent. So that's very nice. And then you get another special moves up next effect at 3 out of 5. I think it's his trainer move. If you use his trainer move, you can get a 30% chance, I think 30%, or was it 40% chance of giving you an additional special moves up next effect stack. And then there's another tile, I forgot which one it is, but that is what SYGNA Suit Ethan is capable of. Now he has a built-in sync move multiplier called Brain Power. The higher his special attack is, the stronger the sync move is gonna be. That's one of the better sync move multipliers. Interference Sync 5, the opponent is trapped, flinching, confused, 50% stronger damage. Shower Power 3, if it is raining, 30% stronger sync move damage. SYGNA Suit Lyra, got Confusion Synergy 3, confuse the opponent, attack the opponent's confused, 30% stronger damage. Stationary Target 3, attack an opponent, they're trapped, and they're flinching as well. So that's that. Johto Pride, Master Passive for physical attacks. Physical moves up next effect at 3 out of 5. I think this is for her trainer move. If you use her trainer move, you can also give an ally. Again, her trainer move is targeting any of your allies, your choice. Give an ally physical moves up next effect. SYGNA Suit Lyra has a built-in multiplier for grassy terrain. And remember that your moves and sync moves are already powered up in addition to this multiplier. So that's a bonus. Power play, the more the opponent's stats are lowered, the stronger the sync move is. So this is one of the best multipliers out there. Very, very strong multiplier. But there's a limit to this. But again, you have to debuff the opponent, debuff them first before it will increase in damage. Meanwhile, we have Bede, who has a lot of built-in multipliers. You got Buffle Buff 9, which affects both normal moves and sync moves. Let me hide myself first. You have Confusion Synergy 9 once the opponent's confused. Stronger damage, you have Maximum Superpowered 5 if the opponent is weak to any type of his attacks. Stronger damage, super duper effective to addition to the multipliers out there. And then for the sync moves, you got Fuzzy Strike 5 if the opponent is confused, stronger damage, Buffle Buff 9 again if the opponent is confused. Then built-in opponent confused as well, and Maximum Super Powered 5 just makes the opponent die from all the multipliers that he has. Now, how do these convert to numbers? Thank you, Jack. Thank you, STDK12, for the tools the tool that is used to do these calculations. Here is what you are looking for. Okay, so I'm not sure, but from the computations in the past, guys, we have not, or Jack has not accommodated the stacks of physical and special moves up next effect into these DPS computations. He hasn't replied to me when I was doing this video, so I cannot confirm. But as far as I know, these do not include the stacks of physical moves up next and special moves up next. And remember, with SYGNA Suit Ethan, once you use his trainer move, you got up ×3 or 3 stack for his attack. So use Aeroblast, it's like 3 stacks is 120%, 1.2 times stronger, something like that. 1.2 times stronger damage, or his original damage plus 1.2 times of that, and something like that. SYGNA Suit Lyra, strong, but not as strong as SYGNA Suit Ethan. And again, SYGNA Suit Ethan can hit everyone. SYGNA Suit Lyra, every single time you attack an opponent, they flinch, they confuse, they're trapped. SYGNA KRIS, no questions about that because support sync pair. Not exactly expecting her to deal a lot of damage. Meanwhile, Bede, strong, 1,708,000, hits everyone with, by the way, these are considering the strongest attacks they have. Now, Bede, I'm not sure which one is the strongest attack out there, but this is considering the strongest attack, but not the max move. This is not the max move damage, so keep that in mind as well. Meanwhile, for the sync move nuke damage, SYGNA Ethan, I'm glad to say, is stronger than Anniversary Steven in terms of sync nuke damage. In fact, I think he has the strongest striker nuke out of everyone, flying type. So he's beaten by the tech sync pairs, tech nukes. But in terms of strikers, he's very powerful. SYGNA Lyra, even though SYGNA Lyra only has 2 multipliers for the sync move, they're like the best multipliers, and now she is the top grass type nuker in terms of all the sync pairs in the game right now. I'm not sure if Jack is able to accommodate all the changes, you know, grassy terrain. But in terms of right now, with the multipliers that with the calculations that he did, SYGNA Lyra has the strongest grass type nuke in the game. And if you're curious how these numbers are computed, I'll link the thing in the description. SYGNA KRIS, not too high multiplier or sync nuke damage. Bede, strong fairy type nuke damage. So awesome. I'm gonna check later on if Bede actually has the highest fairy type nuke out of everyone. But so far, those are the numbers. And again, thank you Jack, thank you STDK12 for the computations. But you know, as usual, I would recommend, you know, all the master fairs. Probably the least one I'd recommend is SYGNA KRIS, just because I'm expecting more. But SYGNA Ethan is amazing, very strong. SYGNA Lyra is just broken with the 100% flinch, confused trap. Meanwhile, Bede, on the other hand, I mean, he can rerun. So, he's very strong. But if you only have limited gems and, you know, 3 master fairs, 1% chance of getting them. If you run out of gems, if you get shafted on anyone, I'd recommend Ethan and Lyra over KRIS. But, you know, you do you. You have your gems, you know, you control, you know which sync pair you need. If you need more supports, then by all means, get SYGNA KRIS. By the way, she is a special attack buffer, so she cannot raise physical attack stat, so keep that in mind. But she can raise crit, and she can raise special attack, she can raise defense, she can raise special defense. So that's SYGNA KRIS. Meanwhile, Bede, again, very good, but he'll rerun eventually, just like Lucas. But these 3 probably will not rerun for a very long time. But you do you, and just scout for your faves instead of the meta, because we're gonna be bankrupt because of DNA and stuff like that. Just one word of advice: 3rd year anniversary is not too far. It's August to September, somewhere in there. So you got July, August, actually July, then August. So 3rd year anniversary is just around the corner, and we might get more master fairs there. So hold on to your gems, and if you're curious about my gem count, you can check out my how many gems can we get for the month of June 2022. Again, I would like to give a huge shout out to Marokman for throwing in a super thanks. And thank you as well to Ewiz for the super thanks as well. If you want a shout out and a special comment below, support the channel by clicking on the thanks button after the premiere. And you can edit your comment and it will be shining in a different color or background or something like that. Plus, you know, you're supporting a good cause. You can also support me by clicking on the join button and join the members of my channel who have been supporting me for over 1 year. Thank you Alcin, Shadowphil, Aryan, Cindy the Cinderace Gamer, Roy, Luca, and Jeremy for over 1 year of support. Meanwhile, thank you Arima, Sasori Umbreon, Marcella, Lance Nice, and Ewiz for somewhere close to that. Thank you. I really appreciate your help. You know, post-pandemic times, adjustments. Pokemon Masters has drained my funds, you know that, guys. If I actually do not spend on Pokemon Masters, I would probably have survived a lot better. But Pokemon Masters, doing these Pokemon Masters, summoning content stuff is eating up more than what I actually earn. So your support is very much appreciated. And again, if you enjoy the content, make sure you hit the thumbs up and comment. And yeah, just leave a thumbs up and a comment. It really helps the channel, helps me get to the YouTube algorithm, helps this video get to more people. And again, you can also help by sharing this video to your friends. And one thing you can do also, one thing we can all do, is grab more people to play Pokemon Masters. Because this is a nice game. Greedy game a little bit probably, but this is a nice game. Right? I mean, it ties up loose ends of stories and stuff like that. It's a nice game. I honestly hope more people play this game. I hope that DNA makes me a partner. Because until now, I'm not a DNA partner. Which is sad. Anyway, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Again, this is Sol, also known as SPL Gum, also known as Spatial Gum, also known as Grunt. The artist team's called Grunt. Have you subscribed yet? I'm done. See you in the next video. Oh, see you in my Scout or Skip videos. Make sure you have your notifications on for those. But in the meantime, it's 4. I have to wake up by 5 something. Yeah, 1 hour of sleep. See you in the next video. Right.